We do have Nick Marianos, the chief meteorologist, who has just stepped in as well, monitoring this situation. But one question I have, Nick, is if you get a system like this in kind of the foothill areas where you've got a lot of big trees, does that create a different kind of scenario than perhaps maybe one of the valley towns?
Yeah, this is one of those situations, Steve, right, where you start to not only have the trees, right, you have the terrain too. So it's not like you have, out in the Great Plains where you have all this flat surface and storms can really gain strength. This is not one of those type of scenarios. But what we are seeing is, area of rotation that's prompted a tornado warning that has been issued, of course. If we can switch over to the other weather source as well, I can show a better picture, kind of what's been happening here. So, of course, we have all these thunderstorms, right? We're also watching some down into Stanislaus County that are also showing some signs of rotation. But, of course, the most imminent concern here is the storm that has prompted a tornado warning for portions of Yuba County as well. So again, I want to show you, as we take a close look in here, some of our velocity scans with this for parts of Nevada and Yuba counties. What you're looking at here is different colors, right? What this velocity scan is showing you is movement within the thunderstorm, right? So a lot of times we like to look at this, give an idea of where we're seeing that rotation right now. And as you look at red and green, shows movement away and toward the radar beam, right? So green is movement toward the radar beam, which means the radar is positioned down to the south. Red is movement away from the radar beam, right? So we have these coming together. That's where you have that rotation. So this is where the concern would be right now for a potential tornado. You have Marysville Road off to the west, Loma Rica to the west here, Oregon House to the north, and where that circulation takes place, that's where, if there were to be a tornado, that's where it would be with that storm. All right. So again, take a close look into what's happening here. I'll zoom in here so you can see where that rotation is taking place. All right, we do know that the storm's rotating. It's moving to the east at about 15 miles per hour. So for those out ahead of that, again, that red polygon, that's going to be your tornado warning that goes in effect all the way through about 3:15 for Nevada and Yuba counties. But out toward Newtown, this is a storm that's heading in your direction. Grass Valley is located toward the east here. So this is an area we want to take shelter for the potential of a tornado. To the west, you have Stanfield Hill, you have Loma Rica. The tornado's not threatening your community because it's moving toward the east at 15 miles per hour. So the new radar scan coming in here, and notice where you do have the brighter returns coming in, that's where you have some heavy rainfall, of course, the potential for some hail with that. But nonetheless, we are seeing the potential for that spin up there. So let's take another look at the radar scan, and you can see that this is also still showing that weak area of rotation. Again, it would be right over here. That's where that rotation is, where the red and the greens come together. If you're just joining us, we're following a strong thunderstorm that is showing signs of rotation, which has prompted a tornado warning for parts of Yuba and Nevada counties as that storm continues making its way off toward the east at about 15 miles per hour. So it's not moving really fast. And to be honest, I'm not seeing real strong signs of rotation, but nonetheless, it is a storm that is moving off toward the east. And that velocity product, we don't show this a lot here in Northern California, right? We don't talk about tornadoes much. So what you're going to do if you are in the path of this storm, if your phones went off for a tornado warning, the way to treat these is to seek shelter inside the most interior room. We say that because if a tornado does touch down, you have all those trees and you have all that debris, it could penetrate windows and things like that. So you want to be removed from that and have as many walls between you and the outside as possible to ride this storm out. All right, so it is moving toward the east here. So Bridgeport, Lake Wildwood, if you're familiar with this area, this is a storm that is moving in your general direction. Again, it's not a really strong evidence of rotation right now, but we are seeing, again, some of that is showing up there on radar as it's making its way toward the east. All right, so you have 49 over here, you have Grass Valley, you have out toward Sweetland to the north. So if you're in Grass Valley, this is a storm that you really want to pay attention to as it continues moving in your general direction. Of course, we'll let you know when this storm is no longer a hazard or a threat for your community on the west side of this. So again, from Loma Rica, this storm is moving away from you. So this is not a storm that you need to be concerned about in Loma Rica, but in Grass Valley, this is a storm that you need to monitor as that continues making its way toward the east.